Hello, peoples. I have another story time to tell you. It's set in around the same time as yesterday's one was. It was I was in first year in high school, and that's when that happened, and that's when this happened as well, because I'm in second year at the moment, and Corona. Yeah. So I would keep this in mind. I was new to getting the bus alone. I was exceptionally paranoid about missing my stop. And that morning, I had been a tad tired and managed to leave my phone in a shoe. Yeah. Okay, so I would be using my phone in the evening, so I would take it upstairs to use after I took it out of my blazer after I came home from school, that kind of stuff. And I that morning didn't put it directly in my blazer when I was putting on my shoes to get ready to go for the bus. And that morning, I put it in a boot. Put my phone in a friggin' boot, and then I got on the bus and felt for my phone so I could play a game on it while I was on the bus. And it was when I realised then I had left it in a boot. So I get to school, I'm laughing about it. I tell all my friends, they're like, bruh, how do you manage to leave your phone in a boot, you know? And that evening, I'm coming home from school. I'm preparing to tell my dad, I'm preparing to get in the door and tell my dad, bruh, I left my phone in a boot. You know? I'm just lost in thought. I'm looking out the window, but at the same time I'm not looking out the window. It looks like I'm looking out the window, but in reality I'm staring through space and time. Yeah, not quite, but I'm lost in thought, and my eyes just go and kind of lose focus, so everything's just slightly blurry as I think. I look outside and we're just we're just around the corner from my stop. I'm thinking, oh crud. I'm thinking, okay, no, I can get off at the next stop, it's not too bad. The next stop is a half a mile away. It's a good 15 minutes away in the bus. God only knows how long it'll be to walk. So, I'm well, crap, that isn't an option. There's a couple busy roads I have to cross, and I don't know how to get home from here. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll stay on the bus and it'll come home, right? Yeah. It's gonna come home, yeah. I'm just gonna do a loop around Crumlin and come back. Me not realising how far away Crumlin was from my house. I was on that bus for what felt like forever with growing anxiety. I was getting more and more worried by the second. I was thinking I was trying desperately to build up the confidence to ask someone hey, could I use your phone to call my house? I've managed to leave my phone at home and I've missed my stop, you know? But I'm a first year, an anxiety-filled, insecure mass of a first year. I don't have this thing commonly known as confidence, you know? So I just sit on that bus trying not to cry because I am terrified, okay? We get to Crumlin, we go through a town, and every single other person has left the damn bus. Every other person has got off the bus, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh, shirt. Oh, crap. I am screwed. We pull into this, it looks like a hecking polytunnel. A metal polytunnel with a bunch of buses around it. It's not a bus station by any means. We stop there. And the hecking bus driver gets out. At this point, I'm thinking, I'm going to be stuck in this damned bus overnight. I am panicking. I'm thinking, okay, this is it. This is how I die. I'm going to die alone, cold, hungry, in a puddle of my own urine on the floor of a bus. Thankfully for me, the bus driver gets back on the bus. I'm thinking, oh, thank Jesus. Oh, thank you, Lord. You know, the relief I felt in that moment, oh, thank God. You know? And so, we start driving again, and, at this point I've realised, this man doesn't realise that I am on this bus, okay? So my big-brained self, gets up and, walks to the front of the bus. He's he's in the middle of driving, and I just get up and walk to the front of the bus, He's did you fall asleep on the bus or something? I'm no, I was lost in thought, and then next thing I knew, we were past my stop and heading to Crumlin. It wasn't fun. So, we're kind of talking a bit, as he's driving. The guy's pretty nice. If the guy looked creepy, if I saw him and he was, looking creepy, I would have gotten off at the last stop and, asked, gone into somewhere and asked if I could use, a phone, someone's phone or something to call my parents. Say, hey, I'm in the middle of hecking Crumlin, could you pick me up? I'm scared. I'm alone. But I was confident that this guy wasn't going to try and, murder me or something. So I stay on the bus, and thankfully nothing happened, except I got home. My dad was pissed. My dad, I get in the door and he's, really annoyed with me. There's me, who's just had to go to Crumlin and back, near having several panic attacks on the way, near on the verge of tears. I just want to get in, out of the cold, just into my house and relax just for a second. But no, the universe doesn't want to let me have that. So my dad is, really annoyed at me. I'm I didn't have my phone to pick up the calls. Do you really think I would have gone the whole damn way to Crumlin and just gone, oh, my parents have called me several thousand friggin' times. I've been texted non-stop by both parents. Screw it. That's not something I'm about to do. And when my mum gets home, I then have to have the same freaking conversation with her. My question is, my dad's always oh, I have great hearing. If you have great hearing, how did you not hear constant buzzing and phone ringing from the freaking utility room coming from inside of the boot? Bruh, it's... you must not have that great hearing then. So after that, it was fine. as you can see, like, I'm laughing about it now because, the insanity of the situation. My friend actually got, like, stranded from a bus once. Like, one of my good friends, like, we both went to the after school drama club thing because, like, we were both in the school show, so that was what that was, like, rehearsals and stuff. It was so much fun. Like, if you want me to make a video on what being in a school show was like and why you should sign up, because you should. It's great. So I don't even remember what this place is called because I always used to troll everyone and call it Cornway, but I can't remember what it's called anymore. So I'm just gonna call it Cornway. It's been that long since I got the bus home. I can't, like, this bus came like every 5 minutes, right? So me and my friend, let's call her Jessie, and the friend that got stranded in Crumlin. Why was I about to say Bob? It's a girl. I go to an all girls school. Summer. Yeah. Okay, so Jess and me both know, like, we met because, like, I was sitting waiting for my bus to come on after the first thing, right? And like I'm waiting for my bus and she is running like hella late, right? So like, the sign on the front of the bus, the like glowing sign that tells you what bus it is, so you know to get that freaking bus has died. It's died a death, and instead they put up a piece of paper, but the window is reflecting from the street light, so I can't see the piece of paper. And all I see is Jess just sprinting down the street at full speed because she has to get that bus. The bus passes me and I realise it's the bus I have to get. I'm thinking, oh god. So I get up. I'll have to, like, pick up my 3-pound bag and, like, sprint after the bus too. Thankfully it, like, stops to let Jess on and I get on too, right? We both sit down and we start, like, laughing about it, like, because, it's kind of funny, and, like, we make friends from that, and I'm, like, we're still good friends, right? And Summer doesn't know what bus she's supposed to be getting. So after, like, the second week, me and Jess are both at the bus stop, right? We're waiting for the bus, and the bus doesn't come for, like, ages, and we're thinking, what the hell? The bus is supposed to be here by now, And Jess checks the TransLink app on her phone to see when the next bus is coming, and it says an hour. So we're going, oh well, text your parents now. I'm not gonna be out for a bloody hour. I'm not gonna be home for an hour. So I do that, and, like, me and Jess start making our way back to the school because, like, I remember that I have left my lunchbox in my locker, right? So we start, like, making our way back to the school, and when we're just at the avenue to the school, the bus, like, the TransLink updates, and it says there's a bus coming in a minute. Like, not a minute, like 5 minutes. Like, oh great. So she turns around, she's like, okay, we're going back to the bus stop. I'm like, no, I need to get my lunchbox. I need some food tomorrow. So we both, like, part ways. I sprint to the school, text my mum, like, while I'm trying desperately to get my locker open, like, barely making words that I'm texting out frantically, like, saying, never mind, there's a bus coming in like 5 minutes. I will, I'll be there. I'll be home soon. So I'm like, I grab my lunchbox out of my locker, quickly jam my locker shut, like lock at my locker, and sprint out of the school full speed, make it back, and great. Jess is still there, thankfully. I'm like dying. It isn't a stitch anymore. This thing has enveloped half of my body, but I had to run through it because I didn't want to miss the bus, because I want to get home and I don't want to be sitting in the dark alone. So it it arrives. I'm still dying. It's a double decker, so we go to the top of it, and there's like not many people on. And there's the scenic route. Some buses may take the scenic route. This bus took every single one of the scenic routes. It took a scenic route off of the scenic route, So it takes forever to get home. And the one thing I remember is it taking forever, us laughing because we're in the middle of nowhere and we don't know where the hell we are. We don't know where the hell we are. All I remember is that. And there being a bed in the... like a queen-sized bed in the middle of a field. I still don't understand that, but whatever. And we get home, and the next week, the next Thursday when our drama lessons are, right? And Summer has to get the bus that day, right? She gets off a lot earlier than us, and so we can't take that bus again, sadly. But it was funny. It was fun getting that bus, and we got a good laugh out of it. So we both wanted to take that bus again, and we wanted to show Summer that bus, but she couldn't take it because she has to get off at a certain place. She doesn't get off at the bus station, sadly. So we, the second a bus comes, it's like, oh, that's a bus I can get on, definitely. So the Cornway bus comes, and both me and Jess know that goes to freaking Cornway and not anywhere near anywhere any of us need to go. So we're both like, no, that won't go. And she's like, no, it will. Gets on, asks the bus driver, and he goes, what? No. She gets off, me and Jess are both going, you were saying, honey? And then there's one day, it was at this point, it was getting close to this when the school show was happening. So instead of us spending 1 hour after school each lesson, it was 2 hours, right? And so my parents were like, oh hell no, you're not getting the bus home at that time. You'd be getting home at freaking 6, okay? You're not. No. So I get picked up by my dad. My dad comes down to the school, picks me up, we go home. Jess, I can't remember whether she was sick. I can't remember whether she was sick that day or was getting picked up too. But there's also another Jess. There's Jess 1 and Jess 2. One of them, I'm pretty sure, was sick, and the other one was getting picked up. Or one of them, I can't remember. But none of us were there to help Summer. And every single time we were at that bus stop, we were like, no, the Cornway bus isn't the one. No. So she's on her own, and she goes, They told me every single day, no, this is the wrong bus to get. This will get me lost. I should get on it. The next day she comes to school, like, saying that she got lost in Cornway. I know we should have been sympathetic, you know? But none of us were. It was that I told you so moment. Honey, we told you every single Thursday. Repetitively. That bus came every freaking 5 minutes. So, literally, every 5 minutes, like, okay, every 15 minutes every 15 minutes, we would have to go, no, Summer, that is not the bus you get, that will get you lost, that goes to freaking Cornway, not to Lisburn. So yeah, she gets stuck in Cornway. Thankfully, she does have her phone because she isn't an idiot and left it in her boot that morning. It wasn't even my boot, it was my mum's boot that I managed to leave it in. Anyway, like, as she gets picked up by her mum, she was, like, terrified. Like, she was just out there, like, in the, like, out there in, like, freaking 6 o'clock, waiting for her mum to come pick her up, like, fearing for her life. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's another story time I need to make tomorrow about, like, there was a guy at the bus stop. Like, there was a hollow, like, a kind of slope down behind the bus stop, and it was, like, a bunch of freaking, like, greenery, and, like, okay, like, a bunch of, like, the floor of it was covered in ivy. It was, like, a forest, but just the manky parts of it, you know? And we saw someone down there. So, yeah. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. We feared for our lives. Again, another reason I always have a pair of scissors on me. They sit up beside, like, upstairs beside my bed. Like, I have this little, like, tidy thing for my bedside table to, like, keep pens and pencils and tissues and stuff in. My pair of scissors is, like, in there, so that, like, if I hear a home intruder, I have protection, you know? I have something I can defend myself with, and I hate the feeling of not having something, like, sharp I could use as an easy weapon on me, because after the experience from yesterday, and also me being exceptionally paranoid just to begin with, and, like, hearing a bunch of horror stories and stuff, because I love that stuff, even though it makes me feel incredibly unsafe in my own home. Love that. Sorry if I'm, like, looking out a bunch. It's like, okay, are my parents home? Are they gonna burst through the door while I'm in the middle of talking? You know. Anyway, this video was more than long enough. So goodbye.